Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back to iAllegedly. And I've got a good one for you today because this is going to be worse than 1929. So, lot to cover today. Hit the like button, please. Subscribe to the channel. We have a sponsor, Patriot Gold Group. And again, keep lucking out. Their timing couldn't be better. But let's get right into it. You know, we were all taught about 1929 and the stock market crash in school. I mean, I remember it in elementary school and through junior high, and then I learned about it more in economics class in high school, and from there. You know, one thing that's crazy is there's parallels right now to what's happened, you know, in the past to what is happening right now. And you have to look at this. You know, there's this euphoria right now that things are going to continue and things are going to be great. But man, oh man, are we running out of gas right now? And it's very, very apparent that we're going to have a problem. And the thing about this, we talked about, you know, the crash is, is beginning. We talked about this late last week. And this is just getting worse right now because there's going to be some type of black swan event that's going to be the trigger for this. And margin debt is a big problem. People have borrowed more than ever. And the brokerage firms are starting to call this debt in. And they're not letting people go too far. And they're charging people astronomical fees for this. Now, again, for those of you that don't know, margin debt is when you borrow against your existing stock market portfolio because it's worth X. If X drops in value, they can say, hey, pay us. That's a margin call. And if you don't have the money, you're doomed. That simple. That simple. And again, have I done margin debt before? I did. Hey, let's just try this, okay? And it's funny. It's like, well, the stock's going down. Stock's going down. And, had to pay it off. Didn't have to had never had a margin call. I had a friend who explained to me his margin call where it was during the dot-com bubble, and he was borrowing money from every single person he could. Because what they would do with a big portfolio back then was if we just see the check, think about this, if we see the check, we'll consider you covered. And the guy was praying every day he'd wake up and the stocks would go back up. And you know what happened? It didn't. So, during 1929, there were a bunch of utility companies that were over leveraged, which we have right now too. We have the same thing. You've got industries, entire industries that are completely upside down, that they don't want to admit that they're upside down. Like the trucking and freight industry is, in a freight recession. No, it's not in a freight recession. It's in a depression right now because the small trucking companies, I am telling you this right now, we could do videos every day where we talk about trucking companies that go out of business. And I love the stories you guys send me, but this is the beginning of this, and it's just going to get worse. And when you have 100 people that work for a trucking company and you've got 60 drivers and all, it's a huge loss to an industry, but it also shows you that they're not shipping a thing right now. Nothing is moving like it used to. Home Depot's not ordering, Lowe's, all these other suppliers, it's just not happening like it used to. My brother called me today and said, hey, have you been to a Kohl's lately? No, because everything is on the floor in a Kohl's like it's Black Friday. It's a store you haven't mentioned, so I'll go take a look at Kohl's. But again, guys, if you're buying anything, you're going to buy gifts for people, make sure you do an ounce of homework right now because they're so desperate right now to move merchandise that they're giving stuff away for free. It's that obvious right now. But the other thing is the automobile companies. You're seeing a lot of automobile companies that are in deep, deep despair right now. Ford, GM, you can lie all you want. When you take and ship a car to a dealership, it is considered sold. You and I both know that as a car sits there for sale on a dealership, it's not sold. To count it as a sale is an absolute scam. It's accounting shenanigans, to say the least. And the automobile industry is a huge problem. In 1929, it was euphoric because there were all these people that wanted to manufacture cars. There were over 100 manufacturers at one point that were on the New York Stock Exchange. Then it dwindled, and right at the crash, they anticipated there were 44 to 50 that were, out there that were manufacturing cars. Who survived? The big three. within 10 years they were gone. Okay, so some of those cars, it's fascinating, but we're living through something like this right now. What is the black swan? What is the black swan? The black swan is an unforeseen event that should have been seen, that's right in front of all of us, that's going to dramatically affect things financially. That's what a black swan is. And what is it? What is it? If you knew, you'd be in good shape. You know, the tipping point in 1929 was one bad day. We've had a bunch of bad days, guys. And the idea with this is that you're going to see things that could drop, 20 to 30%. That's what the experts are saying. There is something that you cannot avoid, and that's the corporate debt crisis. Companies are upside down financially. They do not have the money right now, and they have leveraged themselves to the hilt. Housing and commercial real estate. I am in Irvine, California. I'm at the library right now. Great. I could go within 3 miles in any direction, and they're building those dormitory condos that are 5 stories. They ripped down a shopping center at a place called the Tustin Marketplace to build more apartment buildings that are 5 stories high. No one needs that. No one wants to get a view looking out onto the freeway, and that's what they're doing. So the Irvine company, who owns the majority of these places, is building like it's going out of style. But the rents for these places, they're not, I love the term low income. They're not low income. These places are, starting at $3,000 to $5,000 to $6,000 a month rent for an apartment. You don't have a backyard, you barely have a balcony, and you're not going to pet. I mean, if you do, you're just a cruel fool for having your big dog inside the house. So anyways, there's a lot more to cover on this. Let's talk about our sponsor, Patriot Gold Group. Let's face it, guys, for over 3 years now, we've been talking about buying precious metals. The best place to do this is #1 rated Patriot Gold Group. For 9 years in a row, they've been #1 rated with Consumer Affairs. They have thousands of 5-star reviews. They have IRAs, 401ks that are backed by precious metals, and they carry all types of metals. People think buying metals is difficult. It's not. Call them, let them answer all your questions, 888-330-1431. Talk to them, let them know your concerns, have them answer everything. But if you want a great place to buy these metals, you can't look any further than Patriot Gold Group. Over 10,000 customers, over $1 billion in sales. Place is amazing. When you look at gold and silver, you've seen all-time highs over the course of the last week. You haven't seen anything yet. People like Bob Kudla, who we're bringing back on the show, says you haven't seen anything with metals yet. Get in if you still can, and you're going to be very, very happy. Now, that's one man's opinion. Do your own due diligence, but check out Patriot Gold Group today. 888-330-1431. Let them know that Dan from iAllegedly sent you. Now, there's a ton of similarities today compared to 1929. Central banks tried to cool the market and flashed red. Hey, we're not going to let the lending happen, like we did, during the glory days, the roaring 20s. No. Well, that's what they just did to us, and we lived through that right now. So you're going to see problems in real estate. You're going to see some companies that have the money. Companies like the Irvine company building all these places, they have so much money. Donald Brent, I think, is the 11th richest man in the world that owns that company. They have their own cash, guys. Yeah, they work with banks, but they don't have a problem. They're going to complete all their projects. You're going to see other builders out in the desert, out in the Palm Desert area, out in Banning, Beaumont, these rural towns that will not complete housing tracts. You're going to see people that have bought houses and the street will never get done. And you can sit there and say, oh, that's never going to happen, Dan. It's happening. It's happening. My friend with the foreclosure company, who I'm having dinner with, on Thursday of this week, is telling me, Dan, it's on. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they're foreclosing on these people. Now you can sit there and say, oh, that's terrible. Donald Trump is taking their houses. I want you to understand, every month I pay my bills. Don't you? Okay. Well, These people lived years without making a house payment. And now guess what? Pay up, Dan, or get out. Once people lose confidence, the slide is on, guys. And that's what they think is going to happen. They think that you're going to see this thing just get compounded. And as people get desperate, there's things that are overbought. AI is going to be fantastic. AI is going to change everything. I am teaching myself AI right now so I can make my own websites because I am sick. I am sick of dealing with the IT guys that think that they're curing cancer when they work for me for 15 minutes and do it at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I did it last night for you. I squeezed you in. Yeah, okay. These people are going to find themselves out of a job. Now, here's the thing. You need to hold cash for liquidity, and a couple things that people always say. Hey, when you do these videos, Dan, one thing I get a kick out of is you always tell us, how bad it's going to get. Tell us what to do. So I did a little research on what you should do right now, and I love this. Raise your cash position, your liquidity, because cash is not trash. Cash is opportunity. You're going to be able to buy things on sale right now. Try buying a used car right now. Try selling a used car right now. It is the worst market ever. The worst market ever. And I am going to buy a new used car. Okay? I'm not going to buy a new car. I'm going to buy something used. And the deals are sick. I mentioned a car on here, and I've had half a dozen car dealers in the area. Listen, Dan, we want to deal with Dan. Listen, whatever you want. We can, if we don't sell the car, Dan, we can find the car for you. Okay? Smell that? It's a smell of desperation. I love you guys. Okay? You know how I ride car guys. Okay? Don't over leverage everything. Get out of debt, guys. Don't borrow against your portfolio. Don't have a Black Christmas where you're borrowing money, because here's what's going to happen. You're going to have a margin call on your own house. You're going to have to pay those bills in January. And I am telling you, every HR person that writes me say nothing's going to be the same. We're not going to have the same number of employees next year. Over almost 70% of the people that have written me have told me things are changing, Dan. We're going to cut staff. We're going to say, hey, Dan, if you want to work here, you're going to have to do 3 jobs. You ready for that? Oh, and listen, 32 hours a week. That's the new full time. If you can get 32 hours a week, you should kiss your boss. Okay? That's crazy. Diversification, different stock portfolios. Don't just be dipped in AI. Make sure you're in metals. Make sure you're in your crypto shenanigans. Make sure you're in everything, okay? But have a way out. The idea with this is, how do you get rid of stuff? I love these wallets and these shenanigans, and how I get stories sent to me on a weekly basis of how different portfolios got stolen from that were they're so safe. These crypto wallets. Oh, you just don't know how to do it, Dan. That's why you're seeing people get ripped off. Okay, it's me. Okay? If the market falls 40 to 60%, what happens to me? What would happen to you? I love that question, because good financial people that I've talked to, man, I'm telling you, if the market goes down 10, 15, 20%, they're wiped out. 60%? What does your life look like if your stock portfolio got shut off by 40 to 60%? That's what experts are talking about right now. Forget the 30% number. Have a playbook ahead of time. Sit down and talk to your accountant. I am telling you this right now. Think about this. My accountant says, God, I love that you tell people to come see us sooner, because, I follow Dan and I want to have, the free advice mid-year to make sure I'm in the right place. My accountant has said he has never had these meetings and not saved people money. He has never not seen something they should be doing differently. Never, ever, ever, ever has he said, oh, you guys are doing everything right. Just have a nice day. Yeah, so it's $250 for today's meeting. Have a nice day. Nobody's ever had that happen. They've all saved money and prepared for a darker time slot in their life. Okay? Stay informed, guys. Stay informed with everything. You bury your head in the sand, you're going to get knocked over. Okay? It's going to be bad. Okay? A lot of birds out today. A lot of different birds. Got pelicans out here today. It's crazy. Time is not on our side, guys, with any of us. We're all getting older, and we all need to prepare. And, Think about this, 2008, it's long overdue to have this happen again. 1929, 2000, you know, 2008, 2020, that little stock market blip that they're going to call a crash is nothing compared to 1929. So prepare yourself, guys. Prepare yourself, because I just think that people think that, it's going to work out. It will for somebody. And remember, guys like Bob Kudla, we'll get Bob. Bob's on like an African safari right now. As soon as he gets in town, we'll get him back on the show. But guys like Bob are making money whether things go up or down or not. Not all of us are set up like that, and you know that, okay? There's a lot more to cover in this video. Now, I got a few stories to finish with this video, but do not forget to join our email list. It is in the video description. Click on it, the more button, you can join our email list if you're not there. We're going to have giveaways. We've got a big announcement coming. A lot of cool stuff coming out this week you don't want to miss out on. Plus, we have the private channel called iAllegedly Live. There are well over 450 videos on that for you to enjoy. It's uncensored. We talk about everything, politics, comedy, a little bit of shenanigans, a little bit of everything. A story that I keep getting sent to me is a company called First Brands, which is a huge auto parts supplier. This place, there are billions of dollars missing, billions with a B. And what they did was they would have accounting shenanigans where they would count things 2 and 3 times. And let's face it, auto parts are not expensive. This head gasket, this, brake drum. Oh, we got 3 of those, and they'd have none. Just absolute accounting shenanigans to the tune of billions of dollars. This will just get worse and worse and worse. But how many other companies are doing this right now that we haven't found yet? How many people are out there that are lying to us financially, and you're riding that wave of that stock market? I'm telling you, protect yourself. It's your portfolio. It's your future. Not everybody's going to survive this. So kind of crazy. There is a Mill Valley Whole Foods that people are furious for because it had a vermin problem. Okay, well, I won't eat there again and buy prepackaged foods. But then they decided that, we're not going to reopen just because sales are down. So everybody in the area is now protesting and writing letters and saying this is terrible. I have told you guys this story before. My daughter lived at Sunset and Vine in a 5-story apartment building. The first floor was a Walgreens. Very safe. Had a security guard there and everything. Knew her name. Was great. Walk her to the elevator. Fantastic. Until the Walgreens got closed because of crime and all the homeless people there. She had to move. Okay. And the Walgreens, went down for the count. Again, Mill Valley, guys. Stores are not making it. Oh, this is inconvenient. I have to go like 12 minutes down to the other market. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Should have shopped there more. Should have made him clean up the vermin, okay? Florida Mall could be ripped down. Dr. Marvin sent me this one. It's great. They could build an 8-story, 8 towers of everything from residential to commercial use, a little bit of everything in this. But you're going to start to see malls get ripped down. Walmart bought a mall this week and kind of went under the radar. But Walmart's going to start doing something different when it comes to the market. When it comes to real estate. Why not control our own destiny and not deal with these centers where everybody but us is going out of business? So Walmart's buying things. You're going to see this happen more and more and more. And when was the last time you went to a shopping mall that you weren't accosted by some homeless degenerate? Okay, answer that one too. Pepsi, got 2 more great stories. Pepsi had a citrus green tea, which is great, but I like the sugar-free. I don't drink the sugar. Well, they shipped out cases that had 25 grams of sugar in it, which is terrible, guys. If somebody's a diabetic or they can't have the sugar, this could make somebody very, very ill. So Pepsi's got a little bit of a problem on their hands with that one, so be careful with that. Second to the last story. Now, the last story, and this is really my favorite. I could do a whole video on this. A woman, over 60% of women surveyed said that they would get a brand sponsor for their wedding. Think about this. Jennifer and Peter, sponsored by Ozempic. Have you noticed plump Jennifer? She's gone down 3 dress sizes before the wedding, before the big day, thanks to Ozempic. Okay, everybody, Here's a coupon at your table for Ozempic. And they got paid X amount of dollars for that. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? Brand sponsor for your wedding. I personally love it. I rent events, guys, and I'm telling you, brand sponsorship is the way to go. It is great. People write checks for thousands of dollars to sponsor events, to get their executives in front of people, to get on your email list. They do all this stuff. But for weddings now, women are saying, I would sell my soul to get a brand sponsor to pay for a better wedding. Isn't that crazy? Okay. She was a girthy gal. Now she took, Wegovy or whatever. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Okay. Hey, did you have too much to drink? This wedding sponsored by Uber. You know what a booze hound Jeremy is. Okay. Enjoy yourself. Have a safe trip home. Sponsored by Uber. Okay. I love it. Okay. So if anybody goes to a wedding that's sponsored by somebody, okay. Plus, you want to have fun? Go to a wedding, meet chicks, okay, and guys, okay. And anyways, let me know what you think. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Get ready. Get ready. You've had 1,001 different warnings from this channel alone. Everybody else you've talked to has said dark things are coming. When you have people like Ray Dalio, Jamie Dimon, all these other people saying, things don't look good right now. We could see things crash. Oh, wow, maybe I should take that seriously. Yes, take it seriously. You want to get a hold of me? It's hello@iallegedly.com is my email address. Again, make good choices, and I will see you guys very soon. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make it a good day. I'm going to feed the birds now, okay?